Welcome back, Python noobs, to episode 3 of the Python learning playlist. So today we're covering data types, and we finally get an assignment to play with. We're going to go through our own little assignment that I write on my own without looking at the example in the book, and then we go over the book's example. So data types. Computer programming languages have several different methods of storing and interacting with data. These methods represent different methods of representation. These primary data types are started in Python using different data structures such as lists, tuples, and dictionaries. And WTF is a tuple. In mathematics, a tuple is a finite ordered list or sequence of elements. Data types. Integers are whole numbers or a number that possesses no decimals or fractions. So 4, 9, -9. They can be stored in variables by using the assignment operator or the equal sign. Floats possess decimal parts, so a -2.059 or 0.23, those are floats. Text data is known as a string. To create an instance of a string, you can either use double or single quotes, string _1, and then in quotes. This is a string, or you can do string _2 equals without the quotes. This is also a string. Recommended using double quotes. This is because there may be times you need to nest quotes within quotes. And something to keep in mind is numerical characters are surrounded by quotes and are treated as a string and not a number. So the hashtag sign, the 97 here is a string equals, and then in quotes 97. And here it is as a number, numerical equals 97. String manipulation. We can combine strings the exact way we combine numbers. You insert an addition operator in between two strings to combine them. So you have string 1 equals words, string 2 equals and, string 3 equals more words, and then you add them together. Then you print string 4, and that'll give you should get back words and more words. So Python provides several easy to use built-in commands to alter strings. Period upper, and then the parentheses makes all characters in a string uppercase, and then the same with lowercase, a period lower parentheses. These are called functions, and the book says that we cover that more in depth later on in the book. So an example, uppercase _string equals, and then in quotations all uppercase, and then period upper parentheses, and then you print that, and it should come back all uppercase, as you see up here in my PyCharm dialog. And then I printed it, and it came back as all uppercase. And then the previous one that I did for string 1 and string 2 and string 3, added them together. You got more words, and you got to make sure you have your spaces. So string formatting. Another method of manipulating strings is using the modulus or percentage operator. Returns remainders when carrying out mathematical operations, but has another use when working with strings. The modulus operator allows you to specify variables you would like to insert into a string, and then have the string filled in with those values in specified areas. You could think of it like sorting a bunch of labeled items, values beyond the modulus symbol, into bins, the holes in the string you've marked with the modulus operator. So an example is, and I typed it in the PyCharm dialog, string to print with modulus operator. You can add the modulus operator s, integers like modulus d, or even floats like modulus 2.1f, and then in the quotation mark, and then modulus. And then you're basically setting the modulus with these parentheses. Strings 25, 12.34, and then you print it, and you'll get back with modulus operator. You can add strings, integers like 25, or even floats like 12.3. String formatting. The S modifier after the percentage is used to denote placement of strings, while the D is used to indicate placement of integers. F is used to indicate the placement of floats. The decimal notation between the percentage sign and F, which is right here, is used to declare how many digits need to be displayed. For instance, if modulator is used like 2.1, it means 2 digits before the decimal place and 1 digit after, which is why we got 12.3 printed instead of 12.34 right here. String formatting. Another way to format strings in Python is to use the built-in format function. It provides us with a handy shortcut to avoid having to type out the modulus operator. Instead, we can just write the string you want to format and the brackets format values you want to insert. Braces denote the location where you want to insert the value, and to insert multiple values you need to create multiple braces and separate values with commas like this. And I write it over here in the PyCharm. String to print with modulus operator, you can add that, integers like, or even floats like. And yeah, definitely type this out and check it out. It's pretty cool how you can insert these values into these areas where the brackets are. And yeah, it printed out perfectly for me after some practice. String formatting. Inside the brackets goes the data type tag and position of the value in the collection of values you want to place in that spot. Try shifting numbers around in the brackets and see how they change. As you can see, I did that part and inserted it, and it printed out like this. And as you can see, 2.2, we have 2 decimals, 2 places before the decimal and 2 after. 2.2f gives us 56.29 off of 56.289, so it rounds up. Remember, Python is a zero-based system when it comes to positions, meaning the first item in a list of items is always said to be at position 0, which is why you see, let's go back to, as you can see right here, for the string, when it adds strings to the sentence, it's located at place 0. That's what it's talking about. And then it's not at 1. If you are using format function and don't care to manually indicate where a value should go, you can leave the brackets blank. Lots of B words. Doing so will have Python autofill the brackets from left to right. The first bracket will get the first item, so it'll do it on its own if you don't feel like typing that 0:D or whatever, or S I should say. And you can see how it prints out typed like that. Okay, so typecasting refers to an act of converting data from one type to another. 3 helpful commands in Python will allow quick and easy conversion between the data types: int or integer, float, and string. All 3 convert what is placed within the parentheses to data type outside the parentheses. This means to convert float to integer, you have int and float here. So you put the float number here. And as you can see, I did it right here. And you're converting float to integer, so it comes out as just 3 instead of 3.954, blah, 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 blah. Because integers are whole numbers, anything after the decimal point in a float is dropped. Float can convert an integer or certain strings into floats. Providing either an integer or integer in quotes, string representation of the integer will convert provided value into a float. 5 in quotations 5 becomes 5.0. String is responsible for conversion of integers and floats to strings. Plug in any numerical value into the parentheses and get back the string representation of it. And as you can see, it just prints out the number that I put in there because I put a whole number. So the assignment and formatting exercise, and the first thing I'll do is I will write my own just based off of these parameters, and then we'll go over the book's example, which the book tells you that's what they want. As you can see here, let's try it before the book's example, and it should pop up on the screen. But so the first thing is assign a numerical value to a variable and change the values in some way. So you would set like x equals whatever, and then change that number again by like dividing or multiplying or subtracting or adding using one of the other operators. and then assign a string value to some variable. So you just create a string and assign it to R somehow, and then you print the string and the value by using the string formatting that we just learned, and then you convert the numerical data into different format and print the new data form. And then here it'll pop up right now for the books example. This is the books example. So R equals 9. R equals 9 divided by 3. That's setting a variable and then altering it using an operator. Stringy, there will be a number following the sentence. This is making the R a string. Then you print the string, and then you convert it to a string, the R to a string, and then you print R. Alright, so we're going to run through this, through the books example real quick. So the assignment is you want to assign a numerical value to a variable and change values in some way. So the book has R equals 9, and then they want you to manipulate the variable, so 9 divided by 3. Okay. And then the second part of the assignment is assign a string value to some variable. So stringy equals, there will be a number following this sentence, and then brackets, and then period, format R. Okay. And then print the string value and the value by using string formatting. So print stringy. Okay. And then convert numerical data into a different format and print the new data form. So it's R equals string R, and then let's print that R. Alright, and then we'll run it. Whoops. And then we'll run it. Okay, and let's get rid of some of these lines. Okay, so let's run it and see how we come out. Alright, so there will be a number, there was no errors, so it looks like it was good, and then we got 3.0. So obviously R equals 9 divided by 3, that's going to give you 3, and there will be a number following the sentence, and then an empty bracket, and format R only gives you one number, so that's why it gives us 3.0, and then we printed stringy. Yeah, obviously printed stringy, which is why this showed up right here. The code looks good. Thanks for watching. Next episode we'll cover data structures, and then once we finish this book, I downloaded a free course from Udemy, thanks to Reddit. So we'll be covering that after we finish the book, just to get more practice. All right, thank y'all.